So I hope all is well, and I'm back at it again with another video. This time I want to speak to the ongoing controversial story developments that's happening pertaining to the upcoming game Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 that's set to be released February 4th. Now, before I get into that, I didn't realize this, but apparently CapCut, the software I use to edit, is apparently now banned in the United States as of right now. I'm recording this at 12:48 a.m. January 19th. So we are on the eve of President Trump taking office. So apparently he said something about he'll put together an executive order I guess, do an extension, a 90-day extension to give TikTok, the company that runs it, I think it's called ByteDance, to sell off their shares. But I just did not know that CapCut was also a part of the same company that runs TikTok. So there will be no editing in this video. So I'm gonna try to keep the screw ups to a minimum. So please bear with me because this was a shock to me. So getting back to the news, man, there's so much going on in the world. So the original the beginning of the controversy stemmed from something coming out of the Saudi Arabian media outlet stating that the game KCD2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, is set to be banned in that territory of Saudi Arabia. And so let's jump into this real quick. So this article is, from That Park Place, January 17th. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 reportedly banned in Saudi Arabia over rumored controversial scene. Is China next? The highly anticipated sequel to KCD may already be facing steep hurdles in the global market, according to reports from Saudi Arabian outlets. KCD2 has already been allegedly been banned in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia due to unskippable scenes that they claim promote hidden agendas. This seems to insinuate depictions of non-traditional romances within the narrative, something banned by Saudi Arabian government. So here is the original X or tweet. This was translated. Urgent and official, KCD2 banned in Saudi Arabia due to unskippable gay scenes in story mode. And so if we continue to move down, the outlet's website further elaborated, stating the game has been banned in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia because it contains an immoral scene that promotes hidden agendas in video games. The source claimed that the developer's refusal to create a modified regional version ultimately led to the decision. Another outlet, SaudiGamer.com, echoed these claims, reporting Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been officially banned in Saudi Arabia. They point to a graphic, intimate scene between two people with no ability to cancel or override it as the primary reason. The scene is said to last over a minute. God damn. Jeez. With no current plans for an edited version tailored to regional sensitivities. While the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's restrictions are rooted in specific cultural and moral standards, the potential inclusion of unskippable, controversial, pride-centric scenes could potentially raise red flags in other major markets. China, notorious for its stringent content regulations, is known to ban games for reasons ranging from depictions of intimate acts to perceived socially disruptive messaging. If the rumors are true, KCD2 could find itself facing similar scrutiny in one of the world's largest gaming markets, further jeopardizing its global launch potential. Goes on to further say that Grant Taylor Hill of Insider Gaming has played a preview of the game and noted that while the game does feature nudity and graphic mature content, He hadn't encountered any pride-centric themes outside of romantic conversation options with same-sex character. I'll also stress that I've not come across a single cutscene in KCD2 that couldn't be skipped, which casts further doubt upon this claim, he said. So that was the beginning of the controversial storyline that's been going on. And so a lot of time during that time period, a lot of people that were eagerly anticipating this game, because it was a very successful game. The first one that was released on the 18th, I believe, no, the 13th of 2018. It did very well. So people were expecting, the second game, the follow-up, to maintain that momentum. So a lot of people were, looking for answers, and so apparently we got some. From this article here from Comic Book, it says Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 responds to LGBT. I'll just call these people the Alphabet community. The Alphabet community seen controversy. KCD2 developer Warhorse Studios has responded to controversy surrounding the game involving Alphabet community scenes in the RPG. The start of the controversy begins in Saudi Arabia, where it was reported by VGA 4A that the highly anticipated RPG has been banned from release due to unskippable gay scenes. Okay, so we've already read this already, so let's scroll on down. Okay, so all of this prompted Daniel Vavra, the co-founder of Warhorse Studios and the creative director on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, to issue a statement on the matter. The statement doesn't address the scenes in question, not directly at least, nor the extra controversy involving the forum bans and new code of conduct, but tackles it from a more zoomed out perspective. Translation: he's giving a very corporate answer. So he goes on to say, turns out that we are once again in the middle of a rather bizarre culture war. This time from the opposite side than usual, writes Vavra. So here's a statement, but I'd hate to spoil the plot of the game for the sake of it. The statement reads, "The game is exactly what I wanted it to be. No one has tried to influence me as an artist in any way, and anyone who knows me knows I wouldn't let them anyway. Every character in the game has a very clear reason to be where they are, which you'll understand when you play the game. Our goal was and still is to show life in medieval Bohemia as it easily could have happened and to tell an interesting story." The statement continues, "At the same time, it is a role-playing game. It is purely up to the player what decisions they make, and for all the decisions they make, they are responsible for the consequences that correspond to the morals and social norms of the time. I don't want to spoil the plot, the important events, and the roles of some of the characters for anyone, so you'll have to see for yourself by playing the game. And then I strongly believe you'll agree with me." So that was his statement. Now, it is odd that his statement does not directly address the elephant in the room, which is mental illness being shown on screen for over a minute that is apparently unskippable, that led to the banning of his game in an entire region of the globe, with potentially China to follow. Now, this could have easily just been eliminated. The rumor could have been eliminated by him coming out and simply saying, "Hey, everybody, no need to concern yourself with what's been reported. There is no such scene in the game that is unskippable." But he has not done that. So that's why when I first heard I read of the initial news of the game being banned in Saudi Arabia, I didn't want to make any kind of video on the matter, even though a lot of my peers were doing so. But I didn't want to rush to be first. I wanted to have a little bit more context, a little bit more information. And now that Dan Vavra, has issued a statement, but has not really addressed the main point, which leads me to believe that there is, in fact, a 1 minute unskippable alphabet community mental illness sex scene in the game. Because again, I'm thinking, why would an entire territory, the Saudi Arabia banned the game? They must have had a viable reason. And the fact that he hasn't come out and openly denounced it kind of all but confirms to me, I don't know about what your stance is, but it kind of confirms to me that it more than likely is true. I can't 100% say that because I have not played the game, and I'm not a large enough YouTuber to gain an actual review copy. So I guess we will have to wait and see. But based on what I've read to you, it seems to me like he's not saying yes and he's not saying no. He's basically taking a very political stance. So now let me get into this other story because around the same time, Plaion, I guess I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. They came out and created a new code of conduct, as you're seeing here, reported by PC Games. The KCD2 release date is almost here, and based on our own experience with RPG so far, it seems to be something different than the self-serious medieval game that some players may expect. Now it goes on to say the new code of conduct published by Warhorse representative Plaion outlines a number of rules for discussions on the Steam forums. Now, it goes on to say that we are grateful for the vibrant and passionate discussions that take place here, the representative writes. Your love for this game and its immersive world has forged a unique and thriving community. To ensure that our forums remain a welcoming place for all, we are introducing a new set of community rules designed to maintain smooth moderation and foster meaningful, respectful discussions. We get it. This is a PEGI 18 game, and colorful language is part of the vibe. Occasional swearing is fine, but keep it reasonable. Excessive profanity, bigotry, and yada yada yada. So this is actually a picture of the entire, the Ten Commandments sort of thing here. As you can see, it is quite excessive. So this drew a lot of ire, a lot of, I want to say hate, but it definitely, it caused a lot of conversation and debate amongst the community. Personally speaking, I don't think that this is a coincidence that this representative, is pushing this and enforcing it, because based on what I know, this guy that co-founded Warhorse Studios, I don't think he privately supports this type of mental illness. I think to understand this, we need to go back to the beginning, and I want to share with you a little bit of a timeline, if you allow me, of just what I found on Wikipedia, for instance, right? This kind of tells me and gives me a little bit more information to help me understand, and maybe it'll help you. So the studio Warhorse was announced July 25th, 2011 by Dan Vavra and Martin Klima. And their first game was Kingdom Come Deliverance, which was released February 13th, 2018. And then on literally the year later, which is kind of interesting, on February 13th, 2019, the studio was acquired by Koch Media, which would later be renamed Plaion in 2022. So that's interesting because the the community guidelines I just showed you, that is from Plaion, formerly known as Koch Media. So this has nothing to do with Warhorse. Now, to go further, THQ Nordic. See, this is where it gets a little confusing for me because so THQ Nordic acquired Warhorse Studios, and again, yeah, it was announced exactly 1 year after the launch of the Prague-based developer's debut game. Now, if we look over here, it shows a list of mergers and acquisitions by Embracer Group. So it seems to me that this Embracer Group also has THQ Nordic. I don't know if they're one and the same. I'm not too sure. But when you go and scroll down here, I mean, this company has a lot of acquisitions. Right here, February 2019, you can see Warhorse Studios right here. And in let me see. Okay, and then if we scroll up here, Koch Media, February 2018. And it was renamed Plaion. So that lets me know that this Embracer Group acquired Koch Media in 2018. And then in turn, Koch Media, renamed Plaion, goes on to acquire Warhorse Studios. So ultimately, this is very convoluted. Warhorse Studios is essentially bought by and owned by the Embracer Group, and it just seems to me that the agenda is being pushed by the Embracer Group and handed down to Plaion and then executed. So I think that this Dan Vavra individual, I think he is just an individual that is just trying to keep his job. He's trying to make sure his game is released. I suspect he does not agree and go along with the mental illness stance. Otherwise, his first game, where they were an independent developer, would have featured a lot of this rhetoric. But I just have a feeling, and I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that his position privately is something vastly different to what he is showing publicly. And I feel 100% that he did not want to admit to everybody that there is an unskippable alphabet community scene in the game, because he knows that if the community at large, people like us, if we get wind of it and it is confirmed, millions of people will literally cancel their pre-orders and won't even buy the game at all. So he's taking a very political stance by not saying yes, but by also not saying no. That's how I'm interpreting it. I want to know how you interpret it. Do you think that this is a decision from him, or this is just a decision that's being forced upon him because now he has corporate overlords that are pushing this DEI alphabet community mental illness? I believe that's what it is. I believe it's being pushed by the company that now owns Warhorse, and this Dan Vavra is just caught in the crosshairs and he's just trying to survive. That's my feeling, but I want to know what your feeling is. And also, just as a bonus, let me know what you think about this whole TikTok ban. I know I could have probably made a whole video on that alone. But yeah, I'm very surprised that Capcut is also banned, because I had no idea that it was actually a part of it. I did not know that it is a part of ByteDance. So yeah, it won't be no editing for this video. So hopefully this video wasn't too rough. Hopefully the information was well received. If this at all related to you in any way, if you found it entertaining, insightful, informative, please hit that subscribe button. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, leave me a couple of likes so it can help me fight back the YouTube algorithm, and share your thoughts. And hopefully this whole Capcut thing can come back. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to find another editing software and then have to learn that. So, but anyway, I'm out. Take care. Peace.